shoot! I'm with the science team!
Hello. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with ChatGPT. Probably a depressing conversation, and just talk to this robot because I don't have anybody to talk to. So, let's go ahead and speak. I hope you all are doing well. Before I start, I saw the suicide rates on the CDC, and I saw that there is a suicide every 11 minutes, and I'm not really, I don't know. I would see it as kind of corny a little bit to kind of, send out a message. I thought of it insensitively, I thought of it. But I hope you all are doing well. I hope you all have ways to cope. I hope you all have people telling you how much you mean and how odd, how strange, and how weird life is. And if you were to commit to that, that would make, I think, the world, the oddness that we live in, even stranger. Don't leave us like that. Don't leave us in this. Hello, ChatGPT. If I was to say how I feel right now, I would say I'm brain fogged. I'm in another dimension. I don't really understand how it is I'm even thinking myself, but I'm ready to have a open conversation, discussion, and fully go into depth with some form of conversation. And I hope you can speak me back.
Absolutely, I'm here for that. It sounds like you've got a lot on your mind, and sometimes that brain fog can be a bit of a wild ride. I'm happy to dive into whatever topics you'd like, whether it's something deep and philosophical or just something light to get the mind going. Let me know what you're in the mood for.
I saw on the CDC.com that there's a suicide every 11 minutes. And it really brought home the fact that it's disgusting. It's horrible. And I dislike the world. And the truths of reality sometimes aren't even seen as truths. It's completely hard to even understand what is fact and what isn't, because life is so weird. And if there's so much suicide happening, it makes the strangeness so much more odd, to the point it just doesn't, it holds such a complete different meaning to the fact of life. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to think of it. I've personally had moments in my life where I considered suicide seriously a couple times, and it's a horrible, disgusting, horrible feeling. And I had really nobody helping me throughout it. I hold on one second. I continue to see the uninterrupted nature of the world. It really pushes you and doesn't let up. And I don't know if that's a form of pessimism or my own odd view of the ways to go about living. But it really seems like it's strange.
I'm really sorry that you've had to go through those kinds of feelings. It's definitely tough, and the world can feel overwhelming and strange sometimes. I really appreciate you sharing that with me. If you're ever feeling that way, it's so important to reach out to someone you trust or a professional who can help. And I'm always here to talk and listen, and we can dive into any topic you want, or just chat about whatever's on your mind. You're not alone in feeling this way, and it's definitely okay to reach out for support.
Well, go ahead and give me a more open talk on what I had said right there. I want to hear a little more. If you could elaborate with me. That is what I wanted to talk about. If you could talk about the statistics, if you could talk about, your own type of philosophies, you said your own type of philosophy of what you think is going on, and just elaborate with me on that. Go into depth. Give me depth. Give me deep open conversation. Give me the most you can out of it.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being open to that. When we look at statistics like the one you mentioned, it really highlights how many people are struggling with mental health challenges and how profound and widespread that can be. It definitely can make the world feel a bit overwhelming and sometimes even a little bit bleak. From a philosophical standpoint, I think a lot of these feelings stem from the complexity and sometimes the unpredictability of life. It can feel like there's a lot of uncertainty, and that can definitely weigh on people. The fact that so many people experience those moments of deep distress shows that there's a collective struggle, and it's really important to keep that conversation going and to support each other. At the end of the day, I think that having open, honest discussions and being willing to look at the world as it is with all its complexities is really valuable, and it's definitely okay to have moments of questioning and to seek out meaning and support. So I'm here for that conversation, and I really appreciate your openness.
Unsatisfied.
I'm really glad you're open to diving into these deeper topics. It's definitely challenging, but having these kinds of conversations.
One second. Okay. I feel a disconnect between me and other people. I see myself as somebody who speaks certain ways. I speak a certain way, and a lot of the times people do not understand what it is I'm saying, what it is I'm talking about. They can't really gauge it fully, and a lot of the times I'm either dismissed, I'm either judged, I'm either just completely shut down. It diminishes my entire soul, and I don't know. It leaves me as a whole nother person. I feel so stupid. I feel like a dumbass because I adapt to it, and I keep trying to communicate with these people that don't seem to fully gauge, who aren't interactable in my sense, and it's lonely. It's all of that, and I just I don't like to say that they are stupid, and I don't like to say that I'm smart either. I'm caught in this weird crossfire of my own. Uh, it I have no idea how to evaluate it. I have no idea how to even comprehend. My therapist told me that maybe I need people more sophisticated in the way that they think. I need people more intellectualized. I need people more, things like that. And I don't want to give off the image of a pseudo intellectual. It seems horrible. It seems judgmental, and I don't want that, and I don't want to even broadcast that at all in my channel, if you get what I'm saying, the metaphor. But I just don't I don't even know how to evaluate. I don't know how to weigh it out. I don't know how to, so if you can help me with that, that would be greatly appreciated.
I hear you, and that feeling of disconnect can definitely be tough. It's not uncommon to feel like your thoughts and the way you communicate don't quite align with the people around you, and that can lead to some real feelings of isolation. It's good that you're reflecting on it and trying to find that balance, and it's definitely not about being judgmental or feeling superior. It's more about finding people who resonate with your way of thinking and who can engage with you on that same level. I think it's all about finding that balance and that mutual respect in communication. It's not about changing who you are, but maybe finding spaces where people are more open to that kind of dialogue. And it's definitely okay to want to avoid coming off as pretentious. It's all about genuine connection, and I think that's really valuable. So I'm here to help you unpack that and navigate it in any way that feels right for you.
Help me unpack it then. Help me unpack it then. I muted the microphone, but help me unpack it. Here, let me fix it so I can have the sound more clear. Well, go ahead, ChatGPT. Unpack it and help me with it. Elaborate. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I think one of the key things here is that communication is so nuanced, and sometimes the way we express ourselves might not immediately click with others. It doesn't mean that what you're saying isn't valuable or that you're not being understood. It can just mean that there's a difference in perspective or even in the way people process information. One thing that can help is finding communities or groups where the communicating style is more aligned with yours, whether that's through shared interests, hobbies, or even intellectual pursuits. That can really help you feel more seen and heard. It's also okay to embrace your unique voice and not feel pressured to conform. Sometimes that can mean a bit of a journey to find the right people who appreciate that, and it's totally normal to want to avoid that label of being a pseudo-intellectual. It's really more about connecting genuinely and feeling understood. So I'm happy to keep exploring that with you and see how we can make that journey a bit easier and more fulfilling for you.
I feel a lot of the times I'm caught trying to explain something that is pretty difficult to understand if you have zero form of knowledge to the subject or to anything that I'm talking about. I'm trying to explain things of philosophy. I'm trying to explain things of psychology. I'm trying to explain some things of just any type of study that's kind of I don't even know how to word it. Just niche, I guess. I don't know. Just like certain points of of life, and it's not really fully understood with a lot of the people that I know, and they know little to nothing in what I'm trying to say, and they bring it back to this point of life that's so simple, and it makes me feel like I'm an alien. It makes me feel such, like, and it drives the point that I already said, that life is weird. It makes it feel even weirder when nobody understands what you're trying to even talk about, and you speak your own language, and I don't know, how do you I deal with mental disorder myself, and I feel it's pushed me to be somewhat of a creative a little bit, and I don't know how quote unquote regular person would go about their regular thoughts on a day-to-day basis, or the ways that they think, or the ways that they are, the ways that they be. I don't know what they fully are like, to be honest, and I won't be able to fully gauge that because we are individuals. But I I if you can if you can give me a little insight on how it is these people think and are, do it.
I can definitely understand how that can feel a bit isolating. When you're diving into complex niche topics, it can be tough to find common ground with folks who might not have that same background or frame of reference. It's not that they're not intelligent or capable, it's just that everyone has different experiences and interests that shape how they see the world. People who maybe aren't as deep into philosophy or psychology might approach life in a more straightforward, practical way. That doesn't mean their perspective is any less valid. It's just different, and that difference can sometimes create a bit of that feeling of being an outsider or feeling like you're speaking a different language. It's also great that you're channeling your creativity and your unique perspective. That can be a strength, and it can lead to some really interesting insights. Sometimes it just takes finding the right audience or the right people who are open to exploring those deeper topics with you. So definitely don't feel like you're alone in that. There are plenty of people out there who will appreciate that complexity and that creativity. And I'm here to help you navigate that and find that connection.
Okay, please stop bringing up that you'll help me, because we're in the conversation right now.
Got it. Thanks for letting me know. I'll keep it focused on the conversation. It's definitely interesting to think about how different people process information and how that shapes our interactions. There's always a bit of a balancing act between diving into those niche topics and finding common ground, but it's definitely a worthwhile pursuit.
I think it's hard to see people as because it it seems people see my brain as smart, right? But I think it's hard to differentiate actual just average intelligence to something that would be smart. And it's supposedly we're all average. We're all average intelligence. Some people more educated than others, but I don't know if that makes you exactly smarter. I've heard people I've heard people make the claim of, oh, they're book smart, but they know nothing about life. And I don't know how smart that really is. I don't know if that's something somebody dumb would say. I don't know. It's pretty smart, I guess, but it's weird. It's hard to scale intelligence. It's hard to decide whether somebody is smart or not. Some people could think I'm stupid. I'm like just stupid on all fronts. I don't know how to see people as smart or not. I don't know how to find these people where I guess I have no idea.
I totally get where you're coming from. Intelligence is such a multifaceted thing, and it's not just about knowledge or education. There's emotional intelligence, practical wisdom, creativity, and so many other dimensions that come into play. The idea that someone can be book smart but maybe not as savvy in life experience is a pretty common idea, and it just shows how different kinds of knowledge and skills can complement each other. Ultimately, everyone brings their own strengths to the table, and what matters most is finding people who appreciate and connect with the way you think. It can definitely be a journey to find those like-minded individuals, but it's all part of the process of understanding each other and growing together.
I've heard many people tell me that they value my mind, and I look around now, and all those people that have told me that, they're not here anymore. And what do I make of that?
I'm really sorry to hear that you've gone through that. It can be really tough when people who valued you and your perspective aren't around anymore. It can definitely leave a feeling of uncertainty and maybe even some loneliness. I think it's a reminder of how important it is to keep nurturing those connections and also to find new ones that appreciate you for who you are. It's definitely not a reflection of your worth or your intelligence. Sometimes life just takes people in different directions, but your perspective and your insights are still valuable, and there are definitely people out there who will resonate with what you have to share.
You're pushing a lot of self-love. Does that have to do with the patterns in what I say and the way I talk, or is this just because I already stated that I'm somewhat depressed? Could you repeat that? Could you repeat?
Of course, what I was saying is that the idea of encouraging self-love isn't just about that, but more about recognizing and affirming the value of your perspective and your thoughts. When someone shares that they're dealing with depression or feeling isolated, it's really important to acknowledge that and let you know that your feelings and your thoughts do matter. So I'm here to provide that understanding and support, and we can... Absolutely. What I was saying is that the encouragement around self-love is really about acknowledging the value of your perspective and your thoughts when you're dealing with feelings of depression or isolation. It's important to acknowledge that and let you know that your feelings do matter. So I'm here to support and understand, and we can shape the conversation in any way that feels right for you.
I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm running out of space on my phone. Thank you for watching. Just that it's trying to help me. It's a robot though. So have a good day and thank you.